Hello, friends. Your Uncle Andy here, the UC Panda himself, on November 5th, 2025, a Wednesday night. And we hope to give you some winning sports picks. I'll get right into it here. Hopefully, everybody will have time to get to the window with all these. Luckily, the Juice Reducer Parlay, none of the pieces of that go off until Friday night. So even if you don't catch this tonight, you catch it tomorrow, you should still be able to get the whole Juice Reducer Parlay in there intact. It's a shame last weekend it was a disaster. It's a shame we were able to get the whole parlay in. It's a shame we didn't miss out on the Lions because the Lions loss did in the parlay, did in all the parlays, did in the teasers, did a lot of people in. I will say the books made a lot of money off that Lions loss. Uh, Made some of our money, to be honest with you. But really, that sunk us. We've been saying for some time we were going to step on the landmine, and we did. I don't like putting NFL into the juice reducer parlay. I've done it more times this year than I really cared to, and I've gotten away with it up until last weekend. I think we were doomed though last weekend, regardless, because had I not put the Lions in there, I probably would have put Boise in there as a 17 and a half point favorite. I would have probably put Houston in there as a 14 and a half point favorite. Both of those lose outright. So I think we were probably headed for a date with destiny, a date with infamy last weekend, regardless. But still, it's still in positive territory, but it still hurts. Um, the Lions losing, that's the difference between being up now 24 units and being up almost 100 units. So this stuff does matter, but we've gotten this far and we're going to keep trudging ahead. Keep following us over at Uncle Andy Sports on Twitter. We've given out a few winners already this week. Keep following us over in the Free Plays Daily contest. We've given out a couple of winners over there this week as well. Um, Doing pretty well with the NHL Grand Slam. We've got a play on it tonight. I think I made that play, as a matter of fact, after I made all these slides, but we're going to go with the under 31 and a half tonight in the NHL Grand Slam. I personally have the total of goals tonight falling at 30.93 goals. My margin of error on this is better than the book's margin of error. Maybe some night when we're not giving out so many plays, I'll go over my spreadsheet on that, but I am capping this thing better than the sports book. Do you have a little third period over parlay play? Plus 135, nice little payout on Hard Rock. Jackets and Flames, Hawks and Canucks. Feel pretty good about this. Jackets and Flames are a combined 19 and 7 on this prop. In their 13 and their 12 games, I should say, the Jackets have scored 16 goals in the third period. They've given up 17 goals, so well over one goal um, per third period, both scored and allowed. Same thing for the Flames. They have allowed 20 goals in 14 games during the third period. So again, well over one goal. So feel pretty good about this. Hawks and Canucks also third period. I'm sorry, this is second period over. What am I thinking? Hawks and Canucks, I have second period over. So we always got to pay attention to what you're doing. I've got them in a second period over parlay with the Jackets. I apologize. But these two teams are a combined 22 and 5, and Vancouver in the second period in 14 games, they've allowed 20 goals, they've scored 17 goals. Same thing for the Blackhawks. They've given up 18 goals in their second period. So pretty good set of props there. A lot of trends going our way. We had some trends going our way last night and lost out on the no goal in the first 10 and first period under in the Edmonton game. So can't win them all. Juice Reducer Parlay, we're going to go with USC Friday night against Northwestern. I like that. Like Ohio State, like Louisville, and we're going to throw in some hoops as well. Got to be careful with the hoops, but I do like LSU, Butler, and Rutgers to win their hoops games tonight. It's got an implied probability of hitting of 69.7%, this Juice Reducer Parlay. Feel pretty good about it. I hope I've hopped on here in time enough to stop some of you from throwing Toledo onto this Juice Reducer Parlay or any Juice Reducer Parlay. Over the past few years, Toledo is, I think, the worst in the nation of being a double-digit favorite and losing outright. They've already done it once this year. They've done it like, I think, 5 times in the past few years where they've been a 10-point or more favorite and lost outright. And they're in that situation tonight. Should they win the game against NIU? Yes, they should. Will they win the game? They probably will. But that Toledo Rockets team has a bad track record of wrecking everybody's parlays, and it's just not paying you very much to throw that on there. So avoid Toledo tonight. That's my advice. In the juice reducer parlay, we're going to throw Blues Caps third period over on there. We're going to throw yes goal in the first 10 minutes between the Mammoth and the Leaves plus 134. Those two teams are a combined 18 and 8 on that prop, so I feel pretty good about it. Jackets team total over 2.5. Love that. Jackets on average, averaging over 3 goals a game. Calgary giving up 3.5 goals a game. I think we should see 3 goals in this game for Columbus. Blue Jackets, same thing, plus 1.5. Like them on the teaser. Minus, it's a minus 265 for the Jackets by themselves on the puck line. But throw the Jackets into the juice reducer parlay, and now you're at plus money at 1. Jackets probably going to win the game, in my opinion, but I'll go ahead and take the Jackets and the extra goal. Getting on to college football here, I do like Mississippi State in the points. Mississippi State not winning a whole lot of games necessarily this year, but they are 8-1 against the spread. Last year they covered this number against Georgia, and Georgia is 3-5 against the number this year. So I'll take Mississippi State, tease that thing up. I think you're okay to go ahead and just take Mississippi State plus the 7.5 the way it is. But let's go ahead and tack ourselves on an extra touchdown in the juice reducer parlay. Like Eastern Michigan money line, I think that should come in. No big read there. They're playing a Bowling Green team that just doesn't have a lot to show for itself. Um, Also, Eastern Michigan, they're 5-3 at home as an underdog this year, not necessarily at home, but 5-3 as an underdog against the number, and 3-1 at home against the number. Um, in conference games this year, Bowling Green is only 1-4 against the number. So I like Eastern Michigan, and just take a money line. You don't necessarily have to lay the points. I have this game falling Eastern Michigan winning 24-20. UAB Rice over. I think you're okay to go ahead and take the over as it is 53.5. We're going to tease it down to over 47.5. These teams are combined 11-6 to the over. Their last 3 meetings against one another have gone to the over. Iowa plus 11.5, love it. I think you can sprinkle Iowa on the money line. I think you can take Iowa as is plus 6.5. I think this Oregon team, I think it's just going to be a different animal playing Iowa. Could be a weather game. So Hawkeyes all the way. I'm going to take UConn first half. UConn's been good to me a little bit this year. 2 units, first half plus 10.5 points. By itself, it's minus 240 there in the parentheses. In the juice reducer parlay, it's a plus 106. Hear me out on this. I think Duke may end up covering the game, but Duke is coming down off of yet another emotional, crazy finish game. They've had a lot of those this year. An emotional, crazy game finish against Clemson, game they probably should have lost. Clemson probably should have won. Uh, Duke maybe bailed out by the refs a little bit, you could argue, but I think Duke here in this non-conference road game, I think they may be sleepwalking in the first half. So, I think Duke may be winning at halftime. I'm not saying UConn's going to win the game or even win the first half money line bet. I'm not saying that. I'm saying UConn, I think at halftime will be keeping this thing relatively close. Going to go with Arizona money line. I do like that. By itself, it's a minus 192. This year, Arizona 5-3 against the number. They're also facing a Kansas squad that is only 3-6 ATS this year. If you want to go ahead and lay the points with Arizona, you can do that too. But I just went ahead and took the money line. I have Arizona winning this thing 35-24. Like Coastal Carolina, love Coastal Carolina against a Georgia State outfit. Georgia State only 1-7 against the number this year. So teased Coastal Carolina down a little bit. I think again you could probably go ahead and lay the number if you want. The number is now stands at 7.5. I think that's okay. San Jose State, they won this contest last year. I think it's going to be a close one. I don't know if I'd lay the whole 3.5. I do think San Jose State is going to squeeze this thing out though at the end against Air Force. Air Force coming off a disappointing loss at Army, probably dragging their tail a little bit after a rivalry game. San Jose State, I think, is going to win. Alabama minus 5.5 against LSU. The rule in handicapping usually is we're not going to involve a bet with a team that just fired their coach. Well, there's so many teams firing their coaches, particularly in the SEC. If you went by that rule, you wouldn't bet anything. You'd be betting, Harvard and Yale or something. But I do think Alabama's going to win this thing. I think they probably cover the number. I think LSU's thrown in the towel. I think they could show some fight. Brian Kelly's a bit of a jerk. We here in Cincinnati know that. And I think maybe LSU may be just happy to be rid of that man. But I do think Alabama goes ahead and wins this thing by at least a touchdown. Utah State, like them, I've got them winning this thing 29-21. I don't know if I'd lay the whole 9.5 with them or not, but I do like them money line. UCLA against a Nebraska outfit. on its backup quarterback. Nebraska's starting quarterback, I think, broke his leg last week. They brought the backup in, and he threw for 7 more yards than I did last week. I think most of you people out there watching this video, if we gave you 7 passing opportunities in a college football game, you might be able to get 7 yards. The Nebraska quarterback was not. So we're going to go ahead and go with UCLA off a bye week. I think it's a good bet, money line. Uh, Throw in the juice reducer parlay, and we're looking at almost a $2 payout. So I like it. Juice reducers with the NFL. I think Colts in a great bounce back spot against the Falcons. I think you're okay to go ahead and lay the 6 with the Colts. I feel better at 5.5, but this Falcons team, I think they're fugazi. A lot of people are like, well, they kept it close against the Patriots. Well, in all these Falcons games, wacky things are happening. Pick sixes, fumbles, fumble recoveries, all this crazy stuff that you can't count on week after week to keep happening. So I think the Falcons have had a few balls bounce their way. The game last week against the Patriots shouldn't have even been as close as it was. Patriots should have won by a little bit more. Probably should have covered the number. So for that reason, we'll be taking Falcons team total under 24.5. Love that bet. Like Panthers money line against the Saints. No big handicap here. I think Panthers win at 23-17. They are 6-3 against the number against a New Orleans outfit that is 2-7 against the spread. So Panthers all the way. Like the Bears against a very banged up New York Giants outfit. Bears have some injuries of their own, but I do think at home, I think Bears are going to win. Jags and Texans under 43.5. I think you might be okay to go ahead and lay or not lay the number, but stick with the number as it is, under 38. Stick with that number organically. The last 4 meetings between these two have gone under. Houston this year, 5-2 to the under. And going back to the start of the 2023 season, Houston is 16-6 to the under at home. So all these trends going our way. I think Houston wins this thing 24-18. Seahawks money line, no big, or not money line, but -2.5. Like them. Rams Niners under 54.5. I think that's a very good bet. Rams 5-3 to the under this year. Now some will come back and say, "What?" But 5 of the past 6 meetings between these two teams have gone over. That's true. Not all trends are going your way. You can't wait for every single trend in a bet to go your way. I am just looking at it from what I'm seeing. I have the Rams winning this thing like 24-18, 24-17. So I think it stays way under the number of 49.5, but we went ahead and cheated up a little bit to stay under the 54.5. It's still a plus money payout. Steelers, like the Steelers plus the 7.5. Love the Eagles plus the 7.5. Packers are fugazi. I think the Eagles go in there probably and win the game at Green Bay, but I'll take them with the touchdown and the hook. That's all for me. Want everybody to have a good night and go ahead and get yourself to the window. And if you tail me to the window, we will cash tickets together. Good night, everybody.